watching this, y'all just got to deal with me if I go off, because I was.
You mean when?
What's that?
You say if you go off.
When I go, because I was so angry watching this, because it's so relevant. Let's go ahead and talk about Judas and the Black Messiah. Now, we've been talking about struggle movies, how we're tired of them and everything. Because the problem with struggle movies is that after a while, you think that's how others define you.
Exactly.
That's why you got it so much from Hollywood. Hollywood feels like that defines you. That's how they make money off of you.
For too long, black people have been and continue to be defined by struggle and poverty.
Yes.
So much so that black people even take that on as their identity.
Yep.
And it's ridiculous.
Yeah, when you struggling, that makes money for us. When you ain't struggling, nobody wants to hear that shit. I mean, unless you doing something stupid.
Right.
Like some soul playing shit, unless you shitting on the toilet or getting shot in a gang or something like that. There's other stereotypes, but struggle movies, that's the sweet spot, because it's like, what chances are, it's gonna look important, and we're gonna get an Oscar, and we're gonna make money.
Yeah.
You get so many. The reason why struggle movies, besides just how you feel like you're defined, they add to the stress and trauma that people feel already. Because when critics come out and they talk about powerful, necessary, oh my God, this is so empowering for you and so enlightening for us. And it's like, yeah, you know what this shit is for me? Angry, upset, sad, depressed.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
I'm missing the empowering part.
These movies are good, but I always walk away from them feeling pissed off and depressed and mad as hell.
Yeah, exactly.
The rough part of it is that, as much as I talk about I'm tired of them, when you see them, you also realize how much you need them, because the struggle never stops. Oh yeah, that's why you got struggle movies, because you're still struggling.
Well, that's always my thing, the love-hate. I'm like, man, I don't want to see these anymore, but they do need to be there for generations that come up.
Yeah, and people need a reminder. Everyone needs a reminder. You either need to be reminded of your history, because you need to know what to look out for, or people need to know just how shitty things are when they try to tell you, oh, it's so good here. It's so awesome. Why are you so disrespectful? Why are you so angry? People need a reminder of that. And the latest reminder is the movie that we're going to be talking about right now, Judas and the Black Messiah. This is about Fred Hampton, leader of the Chicago chapter of the Black Panther Party back in the 60s. And also the events that led up to Fred Hampton's murder in 1969. Why? Well, for being too black, too strong, too loud, and for bringing people together of all backgrounds, white, black, and in between. Also, this is talking about how the FBI, they were aided in their murder of Fred Hampton by William O'Neill, played here by Lakeith Stanfield. So, like I said, these movies are a struggle within themselves, man, to watch. But sometimes you got to look at them and say, man, you know what? Yes, I am angry, I'm depressed, I'm upset, but not only was that necessary, but shit, that was a good movie too. It's like, hey, there's one positive out of this. That was a good movie. Is that the case with this movie right here? This has been getting some very glowing reviews out there. Are we on board with that? Let's go ahead and take a look, and we'll let you know after this trailer for Judas and the Black Messiah.
Our counterintelligence program must prevent the rise of a black...
That fool looks like the Penguin.
That's what I was saying, too.
That is, you wouldn't recognize him. That's Martin Sheen as an unrecognizable Martin Sheen, but he's playing bitch-ass, punk-ass J. Edgar Hoover right here. And I looked at that like, damn, you should be in a Batman movie right now. Instead of fighting a Black Panther, you'd be fighting Batman right now. They call this Judas and the Black Messiah because J. Edgar Hoover, at the time, he was to the point of just not even being racist. He was so xenophobic against black people. Like, he did not want them to infiltrate. It was bad enough they were already here. He did not even want them to infiltrate any further, any kind of American culture at all. So he was so scared of a black Messiah being cultivated amongst these people and having such influence that they actually sanction murder. And watching this, y'all just got to deal with me if I go off, because I was.
You mean when?
What's that?
You say if you go off.
When when I go, because I was so fucking angry watching this, because it's so relevant to what is happening now. You might not think it isn't, unless you are really keeping up with what's going on in the world right now and you're making the connections. But watching this was just like having this country slap you in the face and kick you in your ass the whole time. This is history that shows the hypocrisy of how this country celebrates, how it influences and celebrates white liberation and violence. While black liberation and black struggles have historically been scrutinized to the point where this country murders innocent people. If you want to know why, we're gonna get into a review. I'm just telling you, watching this movie, if you watch this movie, you know what's going on. It's going to piss you off. And these murderers out there have never had to face justice. They were told by the government to do that, because these people, while throughout history, people have gotten together for the betterment of their communities. In this case, black people, they've always been met with violence by this country. They've always been met with murder by this country. They've always been met with death by this country. While domestic terrorism from white people has never had to been addressed till this very day, man. This very day. You look at those. That insurrection on the Capitol right there. And some of those people are still being handled with restraint, given organic food. And here's the biggest thing. None of these domestic terrorist white radical organizations, these far-right organizations, they never had anybody go in and murder their leaders. They never had anybody go in and meet them with violence. They go out there with guns and show up, and nobody says a fucking thing to them, to the point I just read something today. And I don't know if this is true, so fact check me on this. I'm not just even a challenge. Let me know. I'm just telling you what I read. It might be off. They says about 71 accounted for terrorist groups. I don't know if this that the government has taken into account, and none of them are these far right domestic white terrorist groups. But for throughout history, they told you, like, while we celebrate every violent movement, NRA, 4th of July, all that bullshit, free speech and all that, the moment that black people get together and try to do something is always met as a threat. And till this day, they call Black Lives Matter a terrorist group, while they were too busy looking at these people who, for the most part, got together peacefully. Look at what the fuck happened at this Capitol right here. Now, and like I said, man, when you walk away, and I say this, as far as this country continues to turn its eye and say, hey, kiss our ass because we're great, kiss our ass because you've been told that since birth that we're good, because we don't want to come across as shitty because we're embarrassed about our history, till that happens in this country, man. And I say that even more watching this film. This country can kiss my black ass. Fuck you. Now, even if with a movie that has an important message like that, that message ain't no good if it ain't a good movie.
This is true.
Hey man, I feel bad for you Negroes, but your movie sucks. Yeah, man. So if it's not a good movie, man, it doesn't really matter. There's a lot of movies out there that had the heart in the right place.
Sure, but they're ham-fisted. The dialogue's terrible, and they feel like TV movies.
Yeah, and if that's the case, no matter how much your heart's in the right place, don't mean nothing. Which is why I'm happy to say that walking out of this film right here, I'm very happy to say I walked out not only enlightened, but also I watched a very well-made film. At least that's what I thought. I can't speak for Martin, but I thought I watched a very well-directed movie, man. The director, Shaka King. This is his debut right here. it's a strong feature debut for this guy, man.
Very impressive.
It's impressive as hell, man. This guy has such kinetic camera work that goes on. This movie opened up. It opened up with I don't want to tell you what the opening scene is, but I would just tell you that this movie opens up with a brilliant piece of action. It's a one camera shot. Yeah. It's a one shot scene. They follow, characters into certain places, and it ramps up. So it's one thing to start out with a one camera shot and start out slow, and keep it that way. But it ramps up, man. And then they get into switching shots pretty quickly. But it's just like I was just amazed at the direction that went on with this. Kind of reminded me, I didn't pull up any clips of this or not, and I don't know if you people know these guys anymore, but reminded me of like when the Hughes brothers first burst on the scene.
Yes, you're right.
With Minister Society and Dead Presidents.
Dead Presidents.
Yeah, this reminded me of the Hughes brothers' early premiere, man. I was just like, wow, this guy's amazing with this direction. The camera work is great. I don't know who his cinematography is in here, but there's a lot of scenes where they listen. And, a lot of times there are movies where they do their job so where you don't notice certain things, and there's some that have such distinct characteristics that you notice them. I love the lighting in this movie, man. Every time they go at nighttime, there's scenes, there's always kind of this, these glowing neon reds and the greens and whatnot. I just like the look of the film. But yeah, it's as far as direction goes, it's very good.
I agree. Like you say, his camera work keeps you in. He knows how to direct actors. The sets. The set designs are point on. Like I never questioned what time period I was in, and even the pacing's pretty good. I mean, it does slow somewhere in the middle, but then it's almost like it's just giving you a chance to rest right before everything goes apeshit.
Yeah. I'll tell you something else that he does that's really good though, man. He we're talking about how much energy the movie has. He knows when to do those at the right time. There are so many scenes when there's just scenes between people. There is no big color palette. There is not a whole lot of switching back and forth. What he does is he knows when to stop and let the actors take over the scene. A good director knows when to go in and let him or her have their say so over how the movie goes. That's usually done with camera work. That's done with action, a lot of things. But if you're doing a drama, you're doing something that's very character oriented, then you need to know when to pull back and let the actors take over.
It would have been real easy, and we see this all the time. It's almost kind of amateurish, to where you just have plot. Something happens.
Yeah.
Until it just feels like a collection of vignettes, as opposed to here, where you get those moments with the characters, and you get to know them, and it's what makes it all that more tragic when things happen. Like going into the story, you kind of know where it's going to end up, but getting to know the people, getting to know Fred Hampton and his wife, that's what makes it something.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing with the movie, man. I even put in my notes here. I was like, I particularly notice good filmmaking when it comes to these struggle movies right here, because when you see these movies, 90% of the time, you just sitting there waiting for somebody to die.
Yeah.
I need something good to watch. I need, even if it's on a technical level, I need something to take the dread away from me, because that's all you're sitting up there waiting for. It's like, okay, we're gonna get to the moment where I'm all pissed off and mad and feeling sorry for what's happening with these characters. And this movie gave me a lot to look at, gave me a lot of excitement to look at while this is going on, until we get to some of the dreaded moments here. I want to say. G. Cole BYP, he says here, the cinematographer is the same guy who did 12 Years a Slave, The Place Beyond the Pines, and Shame.
Okay.
That's great. The movie looks awesome, man. But actors are well cast in here, man. David Kaluuya, who you know from Get Out, because people talking about the Get Out guy.
The Get Out guy.
Yeah. He captures Fred Hampton very well, man. Very well. Because what I did was, after this was done, because, he talking like this, and you might think it's a little bit exaggerated. And it might be just a little bit, because they're actors. They got to do just a little bit more for the screen. Mm-hmm. But, it is close to Fred Hampton. And when you look at Fred Hampton, it is great casting right there. He might be a little darker than Fred Hampton, but as far as the look goes, they got it down. And the cadence of his language, they got down too.
And on did at the end thing, Yomo told the motherfucker, I said, well, you've been educated.
Well, white people like, stop. I need a translator. I'm not trying to be mean, but anybody speak jive?
Well, I thought he gave one of those performances where it wasn't exactly like it wasn't an impression of Fred Hampton so much, but he still had the spirit. Like, I didn't question who he was the whole time he was doing it.
Yeah, no, same here, man.
I mean, sometimes an actor can do that. They can bring somebody to life without being them exactly, without doing an impression the whole time.
Of course. And there are so many scenes where with his story, and this is what I'm talking about. Look at this cinematography here. I mean, the lighting is amazing. Look at these golds and greens that they got here. I love the lighting and the color palette in this movie, man. Sorry to get so technical with it, but also there's so many good scenes with Fred Hampton. The dialogue is pretty amazing here, man. There's so many scenes where he's going around meeting with different groups. And these are exciting scenes because these are groups he's not supposed to be mingling with. They're rival gangs. They're white groups. You know, he go
white supremacists.
My man slides right in. Your boy could go into a Klan. He could go to a Klan rally and make all of them be Black Panthers by the end. They take out them hoods and be wearing berets by the end of the meeting.
Well, and something that it's there, but they don't really touch on it so much. Is that a big thing that making Hoover hate him is that it wasn't just that I want to bring down this black group, but Fred Hampton was organizing, getting together like other groups that normally were rivals and bringing in disenfranchised white people. And the big thing was he was talking a lot of communist shit. Everybody's calling each other comrade. And that was the biggest thing that Hoover had a hard on for.
Yep. That was at the time when, the Red Scare was going on. Blacklisting was still happening. This is after, of course, one of the biggest stories about that is the Hollywood blacklist that was going on in the 50s, but in the 60s. But this is everybody was talking about communism at the time. Communism is it's been replaced by socialism in our current age right now, and Marxism. I can guarantee those people don't even know what the fuck it means. Half of them.
No, most of the time they do not.
Ask anybody what Marxism means. By the way, Marxism has so many different meanings, by the way. Marxism has so many it's an ever-defining thing.
No, I know.
So no one has a grasp of what even Marxism is.
No, I was at Sam's Club and they were making the woman show her ID card, or her Sam's Club card, and she was like, "This is communism." And I was saying, like, no, communism is a system of economics that has nothing to do with what's going on right here.
This. You would not be at Costco right now if this was communism. You'd be out in line waiting to get your toilet paper. You'd be waiting to get your rations at the moment. Get the fuck out of here. While this character is very, very charismatic, and you love these scenes where he's bringing people together, the way this movie's written, the way David Kaluuya plays his character, and the way it's directed is that, Fred Hampton's a conflicting figure. I read up a little bit of him, and it's like that in life too. Clearly, Fred Hampton, even in the real Fred Hampton, he was willing to die for his beliefs, but his calls for violence and certain actions that he called for, sometimes he contradicted himself. And I was glad that the movie was able to show this character as it's not a one-note character. It's not something we're trying to come in and champion this character as the hero.
Yeah, they come in and make him a saint.
And say, no, he's not a saint at all. He's a very contradictory character too, or personality. He would do these speeches and he would just get carried away and make himself mad. He'd work himself up, always talking about death to the pigs, a dead pig brings satisfaction. And then somebody would show up and be like, yo, man, I got this dynamite. Let's kill some pigs. Like, get the fuck out of here, man. What are you talking about? We can't do that. Right. We can't kill pigs.
Who told you to do that?
You told me to do that. He's like, yeah, but I didn't mean it. Kill pigs? That's crazy. Get the fuck out, you idiot. And people sit there confused, like, what the hell are you talking? You told me to do this.
Said, okay.
Yeah, man. A lot of that could have to do with this is what I was amazed to learn. I didn't know much about Fred Hampton. I'm not coming here and act like I did. I did not. But Fred Hampton was 21 years old at the time that he was killed, which means that he had been in this game and doing this for a while as a very young man before his drinking age. Now, think about that. for a moment. Process that for a moment. Think about what you were doing at 21. Yeah, you sitting up here trying to figure out what house at Hogwarts you belong in. You know, you're trying to figure out how to get a fucking game or something. You know, this was real, man. This dude was fighting for his life and for the life of people around him and for America. And by the way, can I just say something? Again, aside from the review, everybody wants to throw patriotism around. Fuck these people that are always using the word patriotism. You want to know who a patriot is? Fred Hampton was a patriot. Fred Hampton tried to bring all people together of all colors in America, disenfranchised people, and tried to fight lies so that this country could be better. But he was 21 when he did this. But the way the characters played in the movie, that age seems like it's reflected. They because he's still a very young man. They address like, you just come out, you start talking, you're not really organized, you're not really prepared, and you also have to think about this now. To be fair, to be 100% fair, what the movie does, and what I think the movie does great, is that it does, you make up your own answers, but it does say, all right, step back for a moment. Did Fred Hampton in all his youth, and somewhat inexperience in some areas, did he perhaps put people in danger? Did he perhaps put the Black Panthers in dangerous situations by talking about, his rhetoric of death to the pigs and and inciting violence that he didn't even want to back up at a certain moment? What I got from this is that the movie portrayed Fred Hampton as a guy who knew how to get people impassioned and knew the right things to say, but some of those things were probably things that he did not want to back up on. He just knew that they would get the people going.
Well, especially him being 21. He's
21, yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't have the scope to see, what all his words can do or where this could lead. At the same time, we think about police violence against, Black people of color now. It's Disneyland compared to what it was back then.
Yeah.
Where they were constantly being hassled and arrested for no reason and beat, and the public cheered it on.
Yeah. This is not something to excuse the government for what they did, because obviously, murder is wrong. But at the same time, I like that they said, hey, this guy still is young. He's, for the most part, he's a wise soul. He's an old soul in a way, but still that experience showed how, all right, as much as you might be on the side of the Black Panthers and him, there were probably some things that could have been done better, said better, that probably kept, put people in danger, and maybe would have had lasting power had they not been phrased or worded or done the way they were done.
Well, sure. When they having the rallies and he's speaking and saying that death to all pigs and a good pig is a dead pig. It gives you that feeling of like, I wonder if that's how these militia rallies have been. It's an interesting parallel.
Also, and you got to also consider, like, there's some things in here where they let you decide on yourself whether this is true or not. Maybe the Black Panthers had some shady ways of dealing with snitches and rats, where it's like, all right, you know what, man, that's just downright fucking villainous what you did right there.
It's mafia style.
Yeah, it's mafia style shit. And it's just like, you know what? Yes, what the government did was completely wrong, and it shouldn't have been done. What happened, and it definitely makes you angry. But at the same time, it also says maybe this is an organization that needed a little more organization.
Sure.
And I'm just bringing that up because I like that they didn't shy away from that. A lot of things are left for you to decide. It's not put out there real heavy. That's a powerful thing for a movie to do and to execute. And it's not a tricky thing, because we've seen a lot of struggle movies and message movies and social movies of all types, where they just lay it out there. They don't leave it up to you.
No, they don't. And they will paint one side as the put upon noble savages who they wasn't hurting nobody. And the evil white man just came and slaughtered them and beat them down.
I was like, nah, it don't.
Like, yeah, let's show this. It's more powerful to show it for what it is.
Yeah, I like when something show it for what it is, speak the truth, but also leave some things for people to leave it gray. Dominic Fischbach, man. Dominic Fischbach she's Fred Hampton's partner here. And she is really good. She gives a quiet but very, very strong performance, very powerful performance, and that is she plays Deborah Johnson, Deborah Johnson was Fred Hampton's partner. If she's looking familiar to you, you probably saw her in a movie that we even talked about a few months back.
You push that power, don't you?
Yeah. On the streets, they're talking about superpowers, but they're not talking about how one hit could kill you.
That's Project Power that she was in. She was the rapper in there, and also
Where she was 14 years old at 29.
That's like, okay, that's the one thing. I was like, this girl ain't no. Make her at least 16 or something. Now 14, oh hell no. God damn, 17. I mean, just a couple of years, you know. You'd be surprised how much that could make a difference. But 14, she 20. Now get the fuck out of here. And I was like, she went from being 29 to like somebody's wife in this sex movie right there.
Oh, Fred Hampton's 21, and she probably.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, who knows?
Still young.
Lakeith Stanfield continues to impress people as an actor. It's got, you know, Lakeith Stanfield is somebody that you want to get when you want to capture nuances, quiet nuances in somebody, and that's what he did with William O'Neill. They called him Wild Bill O'Neill because he was kind of crazy. He was the reason, and it's complicated too the way he got brought in because it's easy to go in and say this man's a coward, he's a traitor, sellout, but they also got him in a rough position too.
A rough position he put himself in. I know this is an unpopular opinion, but while I like Lakeith Stanfield, I'm not as impressed with him. When I see him in stuff, he's always Lakeith Stanfield to me.
I liked him in this because I went back and I watched certain scenes of what they did. And I can't speak for the younger William O'Neill. William O'Neill is the guy that was forcibly recruited by the FBI to go in and infiltrate the Black Panthers and frame Fred Hampton, set him up for death. And there are parts of the movie where you see older William O'Neill, and he really had him down in those small moments. That's what I'm saying. You know, he can get certain nuances down. I thought that he nailed it. This is a clip of the real William O'Neill.
It was a shock treatment for white America to see black men running around with guns. They had a potential case, and I was looking for an opportunity to work it off.
You know, this is there's a very tragic story to this guy too. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You can either look up the guy or watch the movie and they'll tell you what happened at the end. But you know, yeah, you know, as far as the looks and everything, I was just kind of like, wow, you know, I thought I liked him, but obviously I liked him more than you.
Yeah. I mean, and again, I didn't think he was bad. I just found that I wasn't I didn't so much feel him disappear into the character, and throughout the movie, I didn't have sympathy for him, and I always felt like usually with a movie like this, they find a way to make you sympathize for this character. And I just felt the whole time I just shook my head every time he was on screen.
I can't say I had sympathy for them. This is the rough thing because I didn't. I was like, fuck this guy, really, if you want me to be honest. But at the same time, well, you know what? In a way, I do. Let me quit lying. In a way, I do. You know, when we go to socioeconomic issues and the position that they put him in and what they do to black males, yeah, I fucking felt sorry for this guy. I felt completely sorry for him because that's what the system fucking does, man. And they did it to him. And that's how they destroy people. And I did. I felt sympathy for it, man. It's a deep, deep thing that goes on. I was just very sad for the whole situation.
Now, I will say that my lack of sympathy for him made the epilogue crush me. I sat there with my mouth open and I was like, damn. I can't remember the last time I saw a movie where it got to the epilogue and I felt like somebody punched me in the stomach like that.
Yeah. No, no, really, when you know how the system does buzz people, especially oppressed people of color, especially at that time, no, it's deeper than just looking at him as a rat. No, I felt fucking sorry for this guy. I really did. I did. It's a whole system that sets people up like this, man. And, you know, I say fuck the system more than I do this guy. I hate the character, but Jesse Plemons is an amazing actor, man.
Yeah.
This guy, y'all gotta stop calling this man Fat Damon and give this man credit as an actor. Stop. This man is good. He's excellent. He's getting better as he gets older because he's able to play older characters now with a little more substance to them.
This character seemed two-dimensional at first, and then the longer he's on, he keeps popping back in.
Yeah.
And then you start going like, wait, I think I don't know where this guy is coming from.
Yeah, I agree with you. Early in the movie, it's like, all right, you know what? Because he only has scenes where he's playing that character.
Mm-hmm.
But later on, he's even put in a position. And I was like,
Yeah.
you know what? But Jesse Plemons himself, he's in the movie. He's an FBI agent that sets up. He's the one that brings in William O'Neill, played by Lakeith Stanfield. But Jesse Plemons, man, I love this guy as an actor.
Sure.
I really do. I love everything I've seen him in. I'm trying to think. Have I seen him in something that I don't like yet? Because he was great in that game movie, Game Night.
Oh yeah, Game Night. Yeah,
Game Night. Yeah, that's when I thought, like, all right, this guy's actually crossed over for me.
I think that's how it was for a lot of people.
Yeah, Game Night. Of course, he was great in Breaking Bad, but Fargo, he's brilliant in. Stop calling this man Fat Damon. Jesse Plemons, actor. Leave him alone.
What's the show? Daniel Kaluuya was in also. Black Mirror.
Oh, that's right. Was he? Wait a minute. Was he in an episode of Black Mirror?
Yeah. The one that was like Star Trek, where he was sexually harassing
That's
the girl.
Right. He was great in
Yeah.
that one. Where he was pretty much like the creepy Captain Kirk.
Yeah.
He's always okay. I'll give you this. He's creepy something in everything he's in.
Yeah, he's always creepy.
Oh, that's right. They said he was in Battleship. Okay. All right, let's one.
Nobody knew who he was back then.
Man, we'll give him one. No, looking at this and saying that there was something that I could criticize this for, I agree with you where you say in the middle it might drag a little bit, and that didn't bother me. I was looking at time.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It has so many things like a Scorsese movie, but it does hit that lull that Scorsese often knows how to avoid. But then, it's almost like it's just giving you that chance to breathe because, okay, once we pick this up again, it's not going to end well for anyone.
No, not at all. And you know what? If you really, I'll tell you, the way to watch this, if you got enough time and you feel like this movie's depressing, and it is depressing, man, it's angering and depressing, but a good palate cleanser, something to do a double feature on where these two are very connected. You probably know what I'm going to say here. Watch this and then follow it up with the very electrifying The Trial of Chicago 7.
We want to underscore again that we're coming to Chicago peacefully, but whether we're given permits or not, we're coming.
Believe it or not, there's a little bit of overlap with this movie.
Fred Hampton's in both movies.
Yeah.
These two movies couldn't be more opposite in tone.
Yep.
And I would say you watch Trial of Chicago 7 first, because one,
really?
it happens early. I mean, he's still alive in it for one. Mm-hmm. I get what you're saying. How you're like, hey, you want to end with a lighter tone, a palate cleanser, but after seeing the Black Messiah, Judas and the Black Messiah. That one's almost too much of a palate cleanser. It's almost like it's taking like these serious things and going like, oh, but it's all right. And after watching this first movie, I was like, nah, man, this shit ain't all right. It's not a joke.
No,
so let me laugh first and then go like, yes, but seriously though, this is what's really on the line.
You and I are the opposite because I was mad as fuck and I was like, you know what, let me cool off a little bit before I go out there and break somebody's windshield or something, throw rocks and set something on fire. But hey, you got two different points of view right there on how to watch this. Because, I mean, I agree with you. You heard me. Hey, look, if you couldn't tell by the beginning of the review, this ain't no fucking joke. You heard how mad I was. I spent time talking about how fucked up this country is more than I did about the reviews at the beginning. So, yeah. Listen, I mean, there are certain, even with the movie being important, I don't think, you can't speak for everybody. Just some people just it's not going to be their thing, and that's fine. I'm not going to be mad at you. You do what you want to do, and but I mean, of course, that goes without saying. It's going to be people of certain political associations, people of certain persuasions, people of certain ideals. They're just not going to like this either. So that's the nature of it. To those people, I can't even recommend this as just from a filmmaking point of view, a good film. But if you're willing to give this a chance, be it the somewhat tragic and angering nature of this movie, there is a good movie to watch here. A very good movie to watch. One of the best movies that I've seen, so far this year. And it's, I realize it's still kind of early. This is very much a full price for me.
Yeah, definitely a full price. I couldn't see it giving it anything less. And like I said, it's not perfect. It does have just minor flaws here and there. And honestly, like you only saw a glimpse, but the makeup on Martin Sheen as J. Edgar Hoover, it's distracting. it's just one of those where it knocks you out of the film for the times he's on. He shows like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, well, I kept expecting that motherfucker to be talking about wah, wah,
Yeah, exactly.
like, put on a top hat and start walking like this and just. Yeah, I hear you, man.
And I know it's hard to get somebody to watch something and saying like, oh, it's going to be depressing. It's not like it's dour. You're not depressed the whole time. You're watching what you can't deny is a good film. And if you're somebody who likes watching good movies, here is a very good one to watch. I mean, hey, just watch it for the experience or admire the technique, but you'll get swept up in it.
It's a hard movie to recommend sometimes because it is stuff that's not, it's not gonna make your day.
It's not, but it falls into that slim category of, all right, this is the kind of movie that I don't want to watch, but it's so well done that I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I definitely do. I don't know how many times I can watch this. I can definitely watch scenes and segments. There's some brilliant scenes in here that I'll watch again. Yeah, but shit, y'all don't want me walking around. I'll go out there and set something on fire. If
hey, man, I love the movie Detroit, but watching it once was enough.
There's just some shit I can't watch no more. I think it's getting bad that some of the movies I love I can't watch again. Damn, why you do? I'm deprived of the things I love. Can't do that no more. I like the way Judas is like, you know what? I came at the wrong fucking time. He's like, yeah, jeez, they talking all this black shit. God damn it. They mad at me now.